Hey, I'm back with another video. It's 2:33 p.m. It's November 26th. It is Tuesday afternoon. I'm just kind of sitting back here and listening to some music and calming down. And I've been working on a lot of mental exercises to try to help myself, calm down, to relieve stress or triggers that are relating to what I experienced. Um, and I'm just trying to calm myself down because, like I said, I don't have anyone to tell me that these idiots, my ex family, is out of my life because I'm done. I can't take any more of it. I can't. So today I was thinking about just people in general, families, so-called friends or whatever that you have in your life. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Some people don't understand boundaries. They don't understand, like, when you tell them and you lay out reasons why. Like, have an aversion to them, like, and you could come out and throw all the things that these people are and what they do, and why you find their behavior distasteful, why you refuse to be a part of it, and yet they still want to somehow figure out how they can, get it back into contact with you. That's terrifying because it's like you need to understand people need to respect boundaries. Now, I know that in the past people were trying to, keep me married to my ex-husband, and I can't tell you how terrifying that is. And because, when I had made my statement about getting divorced and the reasons why I was getting divorced, and the very fact that some person would still insist on me sticking around and being married, I can't tell you how frustrating that is, okay? And, like I said, I have no idea, what's going to happen with Stephen Lyles or whatever. Let's just say, for example, Stephen Lyles was completely out of the picture, okay? Because at the time when I first left, well, I left him a few times, my ex-husband, but when I left the last time, okay, actually, let's go back to 2014. When I moved out of here in 2014, I left because I suspected Joel of having say in my employment. And I remember him slipping up and saying something which really sent chills down my spine and disturbed me, okay? But I was wanting to get it out of my mind, as much as I possibly could. And, but I didn't know that Stephen Lyles was even involved in it at that time. At that time, I thought, what was going on. I thought I was basically trying to start my life back over again after what happened over at the farmer's place. And I knew that weird things were going on, like I was having strange job interviews and stuff like that. And I knew something weird was going on. Okay, I knew something weird was going on, but I didn't know, exactly. My ex-brother-in-law was involved in it. I didn't know. I mean, I had no idea. Okay, all I knew is that something I thought it was relating to my work. I felt like Joel's mother Polly was involved in it, and then his aunt Esther was involved in it. And I understood, throughout the course of time, little by little, I started understanding what kind of family that was. Okay, and I got a divorce. Okay, I don't want to be married. I don't want to be in a marriage like that. I don't believe in it. And maybe and maybe they're sorry, maybe they are sorry, okay, but you still have to respect a person's request or their word. Let's just, like, for example, a guy takes a girl out on a date and he's insisting. In this case, I feel that what my family was trying to manipulate strings to keep me married to Joel or anyone else for that matter. It's basically like you're insisting, and it's very threatening. Like, for example, if a guy goes out with a girl and he wants to kiss her, and then she says, "No, I don't want to kiss you," because let's just say for something that's just something she doesn't feel comfortable with. In my case, I don't feel comfortable with the incest. I don't feel comfortable with the fact that he was with his mom at the same time and all that other stuff. That's weird to me. Okay, now for some people that's like completely normal to them, okay? But for some people and a lot of other people, I'm not the only person who feels this way. Okay? So, and because those sort of relationships are legal, basically. They're legal in a sense because they are over the age of 18. Now, when she adopted him and what happened in the time of his childhood, that of course would not be legal. But as it is right now, it is legal, I guess. Okay, I don't know if the marriage part of it is, but whatever, their relationship is, whatever. But still, it's a matter of personal preference. It's some people get have an aversion to certain sexual activities. You know what I mean? And and I'm one of them. You know what I mean? To me, I can't really get into that. You know what I mean? And so to expect me, but what really bothered me, okay, was the fact that he watched me go through so much mental anguish, okay, and couldn't, like, it didn't matter to him. Knowing that his mother, who probably looked at me as a rival, okay, was involved in all of this. And you expect me to still want to be married to that person? You see what I'm saying? And then, the whole thing is that, I'm coming down from a serious trauma issue. Like, it's traumatizing. That's like somebody, forcing somebody into having sex or something in a way that you don't feel comfortable, or a lifestyle that you don't feel comfortable with. And too bad, because everybody who's doing all the talking is like my ex-brother-in-law and stuff like this, okay? And the answer is no. You know what I mean? I don't, it's better for me. You know what I mean? I know that they put in things in place to, manipulate my employment and all this other stuff, and which is one of the reasons why I was talking to my previous employers, because I don't have any feelings for Joel's family or my ex family. Okay, that's like when you witness something. To me, maybe it's no big deal to you, okay, but for someone like myself who knows right and wrong, knows that you're supposed to have religious freedoms, knows that I personally don't find his mother attractive, you know what I mean? Or the idea of being involved in something like this. All of it. You know what I mean? And for somebody to insist, and then use employment as a way to manipulate and dominate you, that is like somebody holding me down and raping me. Okay? So people need to understand what they do and what it means when you do certain things. Okay? Now, I know that some of them might be sorry, and they're like, well, I still want to be, friends. I still want to care. Okay, when you do things like this to a person and they show that they don't want to be around you, and maybe you are sorry, okay, but if you're really sorry, you'd respect the fact that they don't want anything to do with you anymore. Because I was thinking about how some people say, oh, I love my so-and-so. I love people unconditionally. The older I get, I realize love has its conditions. You know what I mean? There are certain things you can do to a person that could shatter them inside. Okay? To where it cannot be repaired. And I know some people, they're willing to, but I don't believe that it's healthy to continually be around people who do not respect your will. They do not respect it. So, and they might be like, well, I can learn to. I don't want to deal with you. I don't. Not after years and 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 years of it. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? And I've already said this, but my point of making this video is because is that when people don't respect boundaries, like if, let's just say, for example, I had a next door neighbor, the people who live across from me, right? I was a complete pest to them all the time. Knocking on their door, invading their space, opening their mail or whatever, you know what I mean? And I don't think that they would think that was funny. They wouldn't think it was funny at all. You know what I mean? If I started sucking up their time and their energy and invading their space, they wouldn't like it. And then when they would tell me to stop it, and they'd say, well, please stop doing that. And then I turn around and get mad and then try to do something more to them to, get them riled up a little bit more when you never asked to play the game in the first place, you could understand what I'm saying. You could understand what I'm saying. It's like, you're clearly in the wrong, or, these people are clearly in the wrong. And, yes, I am a person who cares about people. I do care about people. But what happened to me, it's just years and years of it. So at this point in my life, I'm just trying to find a sense of peace. Like, I don't want to worry and think about them anymore. You know what I mean? And so I've been like writing things down to try to calm my nerves down, because I don't want to deal with the stalking anymore. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like, it's like meeting a rapist over and over again. And I've used this over and over again, this example over and over again. And yet these people still continue to do it. And they're in the back of their mind, they're so ignorant. They're like, come on, we're just having fun. Don't you think, they think, oh, she's being uptight. I'm not uptight. When I've lost several good paying jobs, decent paying jobs, okay? I've had to move a few times. I've had my credit wrecked. I've had my reputation thrashed. You know what I mean? I've lost all my contacts. Like, these people just wanted to, like, align themselves with people that I knew. And not just people that I knew, like, face to face. I believe these people actually got in contact with people that I even knew online. You know what I mean? They wanted to sit here and literally control every aspect of my life. You know what I mean? Because in their mind, well, we're family. I want to be a part of your life. I don't want you to be a part of my life, okay? Which I've already said in my video. It's not that I would ever, like, if I had a family, like the way it was before, it's not that I would have a problem. Like, I was the kind of person who had a party or whatever, and they would be invited. I never had any intentions of never bringing them around or anything like that. It's just that, I was here, I was trying to work, I was trying to take care of my life. You know what I mean? But really, I mean, if you have a choice, or you chance and choice, it happened by chance that I was born into that family. Do I choose to spend time with these people? The answer is no. Even when I thought we were getting along okay, the best thing I could do, because everybody has family members like that. Like, they might go to like one of their family members' kids' birthday party, or go see a holiday dinner or something like that, or go spend time with them at a holiday dinner or something. That happens, and you do those things, okay? You spend some time with them, you wish them well, and you leave and you go, okay? But I'm the kind of person, I would prefer to gravitate towards people that I have things in common with. And I know, like, 10 years ago, I had, a pretty good online profile. Like, I had a lot of people, knew a lot of people online. I was in communication with a lot of them. Everything was great. My life was relatively normal, and I had a decent social life. I was satisfied with what I had. You know what I mean? And then these people wanted to get into sort of competition, and I noticed that things started changing. And then for putting somebody under mental stress 100 all this time. And see, this is where the narcissistic part comes from. Like, I mentioned my ex-sister, Tanya. I mentioned that. I'm trying to not talk about them so much, but my God, I can't tell you. I was thinking today, it's like, fuck, God, what a demon. Like, just plowed over so much shit. And then when they still expect, they don't understand boundaries. They expect you to have unconditional love. I don't have unconditional love. I don't. There are certain things that people can do that goes too far. Like, I had a conversation recently with this lady, and she was saying, she was saying, oh, I love so and so unconditionally. Then she was talking about one of her relationships, and her ex was like this major alcoholic, to where he was like unlivable. He was an unlivable alcoholic. And then she said, I left him because the alcohol, I kept thinking, okay, well, then love does have conditions. Some people can't live with somebody causing problems 24 hours a day, the constant up and down mood swings, and then, being a belligerent asshole, for apparently no reason. Then that could stop a person from loving you. What is lovable about somebody who wrecks your life? How? Somebody who makes choices for you, who doesn't take in consideration who you are as a person. And, I know people would say, oh, well, give them another chance. Maybe they didn't know better, whatever. Some things, I don't have a desire to be around them. I have an aversion to them. Like, they make me sick. They literally make me sick. That's like, expecting me to be loving towards people who basically tore apart my life and shredded it. So, and the reason why they can't understand that, or it doesn't occur to them that I could be that way, is because they are delusional. They think that they could just take and beat me down, and some more. Or maybe they were hoping that I was had some mental issues, so I wouldn't pay attention to their abuse. But I'm old enough, and I've been knowing all the time that my life wasn't quite right, and that I didn't deserve all the garbage that would happen to me. I knew that, you know what I mean? But now that I know, it's like, God damn, just go away. You know what I mean? I don't have any sentimental feelings. I don't. I prefer to find people in my life that I can relate to. You know what I mean? And I know they're there. I know people paint me out to be like, she just keeps to herself. I keep to myself because I don't want to deal with that weird crap. The stupid questions, the whatever. And then it only leads to some stupid competition. We're not going to argue over, ice cream flavors, or we're not going to argue over, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And some people think, well, that's just petty. That's not that big of a deal to, sever ties over that. Why I'm severing ties is because they feel entitled to get involved in things that, to me, you should know better. You don't interfere with people's jobs. You don't make life decisions for them. You don't turn people against other people. And then what my marriage dynamic was at one time? See, I didn't know he was with a relationship with his mom, but still, Joel and I had a mutual understanding. You know what I mean? And then Jim Culligan comes in and starts indoctrinating bullshit. Now, let's just take Joel's mom out of the equation, okay? If Joel's mom wasn't involved in that. It's like, that it wasn't appropriate. You know what I mean? And I still wouldn't want to get together with Joel at this point. Why? Because what he did, and his ability to do it, and his attitude about it. You know what I mean? So no matter how you slice it, it's like, my family, to make decisions for me at the age that I am now, to make decisions for me at all, is something that I don't appreciate. And so, because they've caused so much damage in the past, it has affected me, so I'm doing things I can, like, it slows me down. It makes me feel like I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I don't want to be around people anymore. I don't want to deal with shit anymore. You know what I mean? And that's not good, because I've got to pull myself out of this. You know what I mean? I've got to, figure out how I'm going to get off of what they've established right now and move on with my life. And it's like, and I'm giving myself time to think about this, because I want this to be the final thing that I have to deal with. Get away from this, what I'm setting up now, what's going on with my regular schedule now, and find something different. And I want to forget about it. I want to forget about them completely, like they ever fucking existed. And that's the only way I can heal, because I've dealt with so much of the garbage. Like yesterday I made a video, and I just uploaded it today. I believe I forgot the name of the video. What was it? It was basically referencing, how some of these people were in denial of this issue when I was talking about it. All the videos that I was making, and how they assisted these stalkers, and how frustrated I had been for the last 4 years making these videos. And longer than that, like when I started realizing I was being treated unfairly, ridiculously at my job, and I would bring it up to like the owner or something. It was always poo-pooed, like, whatever, and I didn't have a say in it. So think about somebody, it's like you're almost shoving someone in a box, and they're banging on it, screaming. Can't you listen? Can you hear what I'm telling you? You're taking everything I have. I feel like I'm being raped. I feel like I'm being exploited. I'm doing all this stuff. And then there's just people sitting there with this blank look on their face. thinking, oh, well, you know, this is a religious issue, this is a family issue, whatever. No, this is human trafficking played out in your face. Okay? By a bunch of ignorant people, you know what I mean, who are committing a crime and seriously running over someone's life. That I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve any of that. And I wouldn't even care if, like, let's just say, for example, I don't care what the excuse was. I don't care if they thought that I was seeing Stephen Lyles, and if I did indeed was running around with Stephen Lyles, even if that was true, that is still no reason to handle it the way that they handle it. You know what I mean? And since I never really had it in, the whole thing is just like, gosh, you know, what people do to entertain themselves. Because I can honestly tell you, I had no idea what these people were up to. You know, and I've always wished everyone well. Like, you know, there's people I haven't seen in a very long time. And even though I don't see them very often, you know, I'm always thinking, okay, well, I hope they're doing all right. You know, hope they're, you know, healthy, happy, moving along. You know, that kind of stuff, you know. Well-wishing, right? Normal stuff. And I sincerely meant that, you know. But when you find out this shit, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. You know. And family bonds, the word family doesn't mean anything to me. I don't believe in unconditional love. I just don't, you know. And I have every right to have my little beliefs because, you know, I personally believe things that are true, that really can't be contested. You know what I mean? And, like, when you think about all the years that I've lost in my life to people that if I was given the choice, would never even, I wouldn't do anything for them. I don't want to do jobs for these people. You know what I mean? Because every job or thing at favor I do for these people, I'm getting shortchanged. You know what I mean? I hate everything that they set up for me. And then they're going to sit here and try to make stipulations like, oh, well then, you know, in order for us to set you up another shitty job, you need to be Christian or some other bullshit like this, okay? And it's like, I didn't want your shit in the first place. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I honest and truthfully can't stand these people. You know? Any of them. And that sadly includes my ex-husband. I saw him recently, I don't know, maybe it's 3, 4 weeks ago. I was over at the Dollar General, which seems to be, you know, a place I go to. And I have to say, there's way too many Dollar Generals, okay? There's entirely too many Dollar Generals in the store, in town, in general, okay? When they do that, when they move into a town, they tend to make way too many of them sometimes, I think. But whatever. I was at the Dollar General on the other side of town, okay? And I saw him. And I really didn't recognize him. And I saw him, and I was like, okay, I hope he doesn't really see me. I didn't want to talk to him. I just wanted to get this shit over and go home. That's all I wanted to do, okay? I did see him, and nothing in my heart made me think, I wish I could just run into his arms and everything would be okay. I didn't think about that. What I thought of was, I'm so glad I'm out of there. I'm so glad that I'm away from people who would treat me like that. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, the people I've been around, you know, they don't, in my past, they don't really use good judgment. They don't use good judgment. They don't understand boundaries. They don't respect, you know, your wishes. They don't respect you, period. They are very self-serving, you know what I mean? And then they want to turn it around like I'm selfish, like I'm complaining because they gave me a job after they took away my opportunities to improve my situation, right? They wanted, and then they're going to turn around and get upset because, you know, I'm upset because I'm complaining about not living my life the way that I had chosen to plan. I plan to live my life because they've made decisions for me that wasn't, and so they get upset with me. So then it's a never-ending conversation with these people because they're in the wrong. You know what I mean? They're in the wrong, and it's like, I've used the word demon before, but they are a headache and a burden to me. They are, what's the word for it? Baggage. They're baggage. They're unnecessary baggage. And it is unnecessary baggage. What they caused me in my life is just unnecessary baggage. Shit that should have never happened and should have never took place in the first place. You know? So when I think about it, it's like, oh God, you know. So now, you know, I'm just dealing with trying to feel good. you know, trying to feel good, and then wanting to get on with my life, you know, and leave this, what I consider to be, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. You know what I mean? It's a tragedy because, not because I'm not their family member, because that's great for me, okay? But it's a tragedy of knowing that the reason why I struggled so much in my life is because of these people. You know? So that's hard for me, you know? So, anyway, going forward, you know, there's really not a lot to do, you know? And so today I was like, you know, I really want to work on my PowerPoint. And I keep thinking, do that, work that out, get it done. I'm not in a position to get a whole lot done. And I keep getting hard on myself because it's like, I keep thinking back and forth, because when you've dealt with trauma, or somebody who has put you in a situation where your anxiety and the tension is very high constantly, you know what I mean? You're constantly going back and just sitting. I am anyway. I start doing something and then I stop doing what I'm doing, and then the anxiety starts coming to me and I start getting upset. You know what I mean? So it sucks up a lot of my time, you know? What would make me feel better if I could see them dead, really. That would make me very happy. Or arrested. You know what I mean? Because that's the trauma that they've caused me, year in and year out. You know, and what I don't like about it is when you make these issues public, okay? Not just the issues of being called in for job interviews and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, when they come in and they start talking to other people, and then they do the little street theater and the, you know, exit entry, people asking you dumb questions in the store and stuff like that kind of stuff. After you've gone through hell, lost your job, did all kinds of stuff, you've struggled like, you know, you've never struggled before, and then the people are going to sit here and try to make cute little conversation with you. Why would you even want to do something like that? It's like you're just something sick that I can't stand anymore. You know, like I can't stand it anymore. You know, and so I just wrap the whole thing up back to the Gordons and the Graham family. I don't really know the Grahams very well, and I don't want to. And they know why. They know why. Okay, so I want to forget. And I know some people think, well, gosh, you got to have someone in life. Yeah, you do. You do. You do. And I don't want people thinking for 1 minute, well, you're just saying that because you're hurting. I'm hurting because they fucked my shit up. Okay? There is no love there. None. Okay, which I've said several times. So that's why it gets me a little irritated when I, you know, think about, you know, my ex-family wanting me to stay with Joel because they fucked up my shit. Okay? So I understand. I fully understand. And I would rather deal with what I have to deal with, trying to pick myself back up with, than associating with these people. I don't want to associate with them ever again. I don't want to look at them either. And if I run into Joel again in the store, then I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to acknowledge him. I'm not. You know what I mean? There's some things to me that are that disturbing. It's disturbing to me. Disturbing. You know? And so, I'm just letting out my feelings right now. Because, you know, I'm just listening to some soft music and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm in one of those moods where my mood's a little down and it's weighing my mood, like, to the point where I don't really want to do anything. Now, I notice this, that, like, when I have a job, you know, I can motivate myself to do work, okay? But when I'm at my home, I will sit on my ass until I get things done. And usually, if I'm happy, then I'll just buzz around and I'll do whatever I need to get done. But this depression is very hard on me. So when I'm depressed at home, I struggle getting things done. They get done eventually, but I struggle with getting things done because of the depression. Now, work issue is different. I'm always different work. Like, I can organize my calendar. I'm going to stay on top of it. But I can organize my calendar for my personal life. But I tend to, because I feel like I can give myself a little bit more leeway, I tend to let the depression kick in a little bit more. You know what I mean? And I'm very depressed about what happened to me. You know what I mean? I'm very depressed over it. You know, and some people will think, well, you know, you don't need to be beating yourself up over it. I'm not blaming myself over it at all. I will never blame myself for it. I'm just angry that I was born into that family. Like, that's like the worst thing. It's the worst. The worst. You know, because I think I could have had such a better life without these people. I could have had a better life. You know, an easier one. A lot easier without them. And I think about the combination of the individuals that were involved in my family and the different personalities and stuff, and how they kind of draw more, because you like attracts like, you know, they draw more, you know, personalities like themselves. And I'm, you know, I don't look at them like, I know they absorbed most of my contacts that I've known in the past, okay? That doesn't compel me to want to associate with these people if they're associated with my family. To me, once you start associating with my family, in my back of my mind, you're tainted. Because it's like, I will never trust you. I can't. If you have a relationship with my family, then I can't trust you. And I can't be near you. I can't be warm and caring about you. I can't. Because I don't know if you're like a spy or whatever. You're trying to, you know, do shit. You know, I don't. You know, it's unfortunate that I was born in that family. Like, I think this all the time. It's like, God, could have had such a better life without them. Such a better life. So anyway, I've got my off my chest, and I've been talking for 30 minutes, and it helps. It helps a lot to talk about it, because it's a lot to deal with. You know, and I meant what I said about, you know, working. I meant what I said. You know, I understand that things are not the way they should be, you know, but, and whatever I find in the future, you know, whatever. I just hope it's not like, you know, I have to jump through hoops just to find a job that's local. I know it's going to take a while, you know what I mean? But I'll do what I have to do. I just don't want to deal with knowing that these people are in my life anymore. You know, it's emotional. It's emotionally taxing. And no matter how much you say it, it's like, you know, they insisted on it. And they just kept digging me in deeper. Digging me in deeper. You know what I mean? To the point where, you know, I mean, I had to change my car out because these people have ruined so much of my shit. They just ruin lives. You know what I mean? Some people are just, I don't know, bad to be associating with. Shouldn't associate with them, and I choose not to. You know, I do get lonely sometimes, but everybody's lonely. I mean, really, they are. I mean, we live in a very closed-off society. Some people socialize. I see socialization takes place mostly among teenagers, because they still at that age where they socialize. But when you get to a certain age, you know, you don't really socialize as much. Which is really sad, though, because, like, you know, we all want to socialize, but we want to be around people who are good associations. We don't want to be around people who bring us down, or have an agenda, or want to control us, or abuse us. It's abuse. When you start messing with people's employment in the manner that they did, and the reasons why, because they wanted to feel better about themselves, that's abuse. They're willing to make you suffer and make you lose something that you need, right, to live. Or whether it was something I needed to live or not, or maybe it was just something that brought me personal satisfaction. They would rather me depart from that, and they want to give me what they want me to have. So I'm supposed to always consider their satisfaction, and just completely deny my own needs. See, that's the thought process of one of these narcissistic people. You know what I mean? And I do believe sometimes sacrifice is necessary. Like, for example, but the sacrifice should be you should be willing to. Like, for example, when I was younger, you know, I knew that when I had a child, right? I knew I had a child. Before that, I was buying clothes for myself. Anytime I wanted to, I'd get myself a new handbag. Now, I've never been one of those handbag people, but you know what it's like for women who enjoy those sort of things, right? But I had a kid at the time. So I knew that I can't sit here and go out and buy shitloads of clothes and all this other stuff, right? You got a kid, right? So there were the times I went without that. That was a sacrifice of something I had to do. And I was willing to do it. Okay, but when you're asking somebody to sacrifice something, when a person doesn't mean anything to you, these people don't mean anything to me. And they think just because, you know, they were my blood relations, you know, blood, I'm a very loving person. I can love, like, intensely. I can love, like, you know, I could love someone very, very much, very strongly, okay? Because I'm a very sincere person, okay? But when people give you garbage, when they continually abuse you over and over and over again, no. You know, no, I don't. I can't. You know, and I believe you're a fool too. I see a lot of people who get in situations like this. They allow themselves to be. They just kind of shrug their shoulders and they stay hanging out with this person that makes them miserable. But I don't believe in doing that. I just don't. You know what I mean? I don't love anyone. I don't. You know, I love my son, but I don't. I don't have love in my heart for anyone. I don't. And that sounds like, oh, it's terrible. I love my fellow neighbor, meaning like I'm not going to thrash their shit. I'm not going to do anything that's going to affect their lives in any way. That's the love of a neighbor that we're supposed to have, okay? That's the general knowledge, okay? I'm not going to make life harder for any other person than it has to be, okay? That's love, like universal love. It's not personal. It's not necessarily platonic because you're not best friends. You don't know each other's favorite color. You don't, you know, go to each other's house for barbecue. And it's not a romantic, necessarily a romantic love, you know. It's not like you're feeling palpitations in your heart and you're getting excited and you have loving romantic feelings for these people. Universal love is the respect, the common respect that we have for each person. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I know not to throw my if I'm having a drink, you know, like a cup, like an ice drink or something, and I'm done with the cup, I know not to throw that in front of somebody's doorstep. I know not to disrespect other people. I know not to mess with people's jobs. I know how to respect things that do not or respect space and not take things that don't belong to me. Okay? So I understand that. That's love of your neighbor. That's how you show that sort of love. You know, and then also when I have friends, you know, I do. I care about my friends. And the people I used to know in the past, I was always very affectionate. Very affectionate. You know, send them little cards, gifts, stuff like that. I was very affectionate. Loved my friends. Okay? But when people do what they do to me, what they've done, and let my life be a game to entertain themselves, and cause this sort of devastation, and then tell me who I'm supposed to hang out with, who I'm supposed to marry, my religion, all this other stuff. No. It's impossible. I can't love you. You know? So anyway, I've been talking for almost 40 minutes. Been getting a lot off my chest. I feel a lot better now. It comes and goes, you know, and writing a little bit, little pieces of paper, and then throwing them away and whatever helps me get my thoughts out, because there's so much trauma going on up here that I'm trying to release it as best as I can. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll be back with another video some other time later. Take care.